Hi, I'm Stan from Sega. We're here at the Building Performance Hub, where I will show you how to seal a window. The Building Performance Hub is our main training site here in the UK, where I can show you how to seal a window one-to-one on real size windows. I'm standing here in front of a full-scale window model, which we will be sealing later on. Today, we will use our Trestart 420 Black FR adhesive tape. Trestart is a robust, stretchable and flexible fire-rated sealing tape to create a direct and immediate full surface air and weathertight seal around your window frame. To seal the window, we will use a brush, a cutter knife, a squeegee or rubber roller, something to measure with, like a tape measure or a measuring stick, some sealant like Sega Meltel for any uneven substrates, an empty box just to collect the backing paper, and some Sega Trestart, of course. Before you start sealing, always double check if the substrate is smooth, dry and not adhesive repellent. As a belt and braces solution, you can always perform a small adhesion test on site just to double check the substrate. As a next step, always clean the window and the substrate with a brush. When you seal the window, make sure that you always seal bottom to the top, installing the bottom strip first, then the two side strips, and finally the strip on the top. For a reliable seal, we recommend a minimum of 15 millimeters in front of the bracket and 50 millimeters onto the substrate. Cut Trestart to the width of the window, plus 50 millimeters on each side. Remove the first part of the applicator strip and start sealing along the window frame. Remove the middle backing strip and feed it along the window frame. And remove the final backing strip to guarantee a continuous air and weathertight seal. Cut the excess in the corner, bisecting the tape in two equal parts. Make sure you cut slightly away from the corner to avoid pinholes later on. Fold one part up onto the window frame and the other part back on the wall. Now repeat the previous step on both sides, making sure you cover the bottom tape and 50 millimeters above the window frame.
When the bottom and the side of the window has been sealed, it's time to seal the top of the window and make sure that the top of the window is one continuous strip of Trestot and making sure all the lower bits of Trestot are fully covered. It's important that this part is fully one seal, as this is the main part that will flush away the majority of water away from the window. To avoid any potential water ingress, we make sure that the top seal is always continuous and the side seal doesn't protrude the top seal. We always try to stay away from the top edge with about 30 millimeters to make sure that the top seal is completely watertight. As a final check, we double check that everything is sealed 100%. Therefore, we do sort of a double check with the squeegee or a hard rubber roller to make sure everything is pressed on and everything is a continuous seal. If we find any little pinholes or anything, we can use our liquid sealant, Siga Melto, as a belt and braces solution. As a final tip, we would recommend you to use an old Trestot box to put all your release liners in, as the release liner can be fully recycled, as it's made out of polypropylene, the same as your shopping bags, etc., and can be recycled in the same way. And finally, although Siga Trestot is developed as a window sealing tape, of course, it can also be used in loads of different other applications. For example, sealing between different sheeting boards, sealing between the concrete and the sheeting board, corner details, or even cable or pipe penetrations. If you have any more questions about the product Siga Trestot, feel free to reach out to us. There will always be one of your local Siga contacts who can support you in the office or on site for any form of site training, for example, or any form of product characteristics, or even invite your application crew here in the training center to give you a one-on-one training on real size windows. Thank you for watching, and hopefully we'll see you here in the Building Performance Hub.